Welcome to another episode of How to DragonCon. My name is Kong. I will be your guide. Today we are going to talk about one of the most commonly asked questions. I have already made a video on the best and biggest events that everyone should check out. Those are the big name ones like the parade that I feel everyone should at least see once. But another question that I get asked just as much is, where are the parties at? Or what's the best party? Or something along those lines, right? So maybe you've heard from a friend that DragonCon is the party con. So of course you want to know what the best one is to go to. So I'm going to go over some of the different ones that you can expect. There are three types of parties. And the first one, the big one, you ready for this? It's the whole con, right? I know that might be a bit of a cop-out answer, but please bear with me. The whole con is one giant party, right? It's not confined by space or time. It's just like Mardi Gras or, the Vegas Strip or Nashville, any of those things where it's happening all around you, right? If you go to DragonCon and you're constantly asking, where's the party at? Where's the party at? Then my friend, you are missing the forest for the trees, okay? It's all around you. Just walk 5 minutes in one direction and you will probably start to hear some music in the background, and you're gonna see some people that are just kind of dancing in place, bobbing their hands, raising their fists, high-fiving one another, right? If you have a group of people in a space and they're having a good time, that's the start of a party. And let me add a note. I'm not sure about the open container laws in Atlanta. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to speak on that. But I can assure you, I've seen many people with an alcoholic beverage in hand, oftentimes being bought from the hotels themselves, right? And those people are going to be hopping from one building to another, one block to another, and finding all kinds of happy people as they walk around. I would encourage you to do what I like to call the loop. And that is when you start from one end, let's say of the Hyatt, and then you go through the tunnels to the Marriott, you go through up and down a few levels, you go to the tunnel on the other side of the building, go into the Hilton, check out what's happening in the lobby, go to the back steps where there might be another DJ or group of people, and then go all the way around till you've made one circle and just see what you run into. Keep an eye out for what's happening around you and enjoy the journey, right? It doesn't have to be the destination. It could just be what you find along the way, who you high five, cool costumes that you see, maybe even a random dance off. I've certainly seen a few of those before on my way, and it's just been a blast to witness. The second type of party, also pretty big in size, is going to be what I like to call the big ballroom dances, but DragonCon just appropriately calls them parties, right? If you open up the schedule or the app, that's what you're going to see listed, and that's how you find them. Just look at the schedule, see what's listed for that day. There's often at least multiple each night that are going on. Take note of what building they're in and which ballroom, and then just kind of pencil it into your itinerary and make it a point to at least go check it out, see what it's looking like, and decide if you want to go there or not. These are often going to be in the biggest ballrooms at each of the hotels, and there can be a pre-made playlist for the music, or there can be a live DJ. Oftentimes there will be a theme to it. Different fan tracks and fandoms may be hosting that party, but you don't have to dress up. I mean, that's across DragonCon in general. You don't have to wear a costume. You can be in normal clothes. These are going to be the end of the day, so you may have already shown off your best costume and you may have sweated all over it, and you're just ready to change into some comfortable clothes and then just go have a good time at this point, right? So again, you don't have to dress up to that specific theme the party is going on. Some of the examples include, but not limited to, the Bunny Hutch, the 8-Bit Ball, the Spectrum Party, the Heroes and Villains Ball, the Yule Ball, the Zombie Prom, and the Last Party on Alderaan, right? So you can probably guess which fandoms cover which of these parties. Now, can I tell you that one is better than the other? No. Some people might tell you they just might be biased, but from what I've seen over the years, they can vary year from year. They can even vary hour to hour. It may depend when you go in, right? You may go in right when some really popular songs start hitting and you think, man, this is great. Or you may go in maybe too early in the night when not enough people have made it, right? Especially if it's further away, let's say at the West End or something. Not a lot of people may have trekked over there quite yet. So you may go in and go, man, this is a dud. There's nothing going on here. There's just not a lot of people. So just try to keep that in mind. Now, if you want to play it by ear, of course, you don't have to look or plan for these. Just as you're doing the loop, as I referred to earlier, just keep a lookout, right? If it's past 9 o'clock, if there's a long line of people waiting to get in, and you hear loud music coming from inside that room, odds are there's probably a party going on. And judging by the line, you know that at least a lot of people are curious about it. It still may or may not be the best time, but at least people are going there, right? And that's one of the points I want to make is, be honest with yourself, right? If you're an introvert, if you're really shy and you just don't like big rooms where there's loud music, people dancing all around you, it's dimly lit except for some of the stages or stage lights or whatever, that might not be your scene, right? Even if it's a really good time for some people, it might not be for you. And for me, it varies day to day. If I have high energy, if it's early in the weekend and my friends are going, yeah, I'm gonna go into one of these ballrooms and have a good time. But if I go at a later time, if I go in maybe when I'm tired, I'm just not gonna want to go in. I just poke my head in and say, nope, seen it, done it. I don't need to have that experience, right? So again, be honest to yourself and what your goals are in that given hour. And last but not least, the third type of party, and this is probably what a lot of newbies or even returning con goers, they might be seeking this. This is the elusive, private room party. Maybe you've heard through the grapevine, you've heard tales of this legendary, hangout or get together, whatever it is, where, anything goes or whatever you can imagine. So let me first say, technically, the hotels don't even want to endorse these because they are a small room. Even if it's a suite or one of the larger rooms, it's a fire hazard, right? You have a lot of people trying to get into a small space. Even worse, if there's a line in the hallway or anything where, it's not really meant to be an area for congregating. So I don't think the hotels want that. On top of that, whoever is hosting these, they probably don't want you there either, right? Like, it's invite only for a reason. And I hate it for you, but if you're new or an outsider or you don't know the right person, you may never ever hear of any of these parties going on because they don't want you there, right? That's the harsh reality of it. They are hosting it for their friends. They don't want to give a stranger, their food, their booze, their drugs, if they have it in there. So you can kind of imagine that it's going to be kept on the down low and not well advertised at the very least. Also keep in mind, again, realistic expectations, right? If you're expecting this legendary banger of a party that you've made up in your mind, there might not be anything that can actually live up to that, right? Let's say you actually get into a room and you go, wow, this kind of looks pretty lame. It's just a bunch of dudes who know one another and this big circle jerk of them, making inside jokes while getting drunk, right? So to you as an outsider, that might seem pretty silly and seem boring. To those guys who are hanging out with their friends and just cutting up, that really may be one of the best highlights of the weekend for themselves, right? So it depends on the perspective, on you again, and what your expectations are. So that's kind of the theme and the drive home point that I want to make. Set your expectations and be honest to who you are, right? If you are someone who is more chill and just wants to sit back, maybe something like the drum circle is more appropriate for you, right? Just go look for that in the schedule. It's usually one of the smaller rooms, just so people kind of have that vibe of like a campfire where people kind of line up in a circle. Some of them may have drums or instruments, and you're just there, laid back, chilling, taking a break maybe. That could be your scene. Or maybe, you really love EDM music. You can dance until the sun comes up. There are parties like that. Some of them don't start until 2 or 3. So usually, being the old man I am, I'm already in bed. But I have had some friends who wait up just to go to these, and they really enjoy themselves as well. So it just really depends, what would you enjoy? There's no magical fable that you can chase that everyone's going to enjoy and everyone's going to have the best time. I want you to have your own party that you can have at any time, right? You can be walking around, doesn't matter where you are. Just kind of keep a lookout, feed off the energy of the happy people around you, and try to take in that magic, because I think that's the best part of DragonCon. So there you go. I hope that has helped, kind of breaking it down into some of the realistic expectations that you can hope to find when you're looking for a party. I hope you find the right one that's for you and have a good time at this year's DragonCon. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, any ones that you've liked, any ones that you want to recommend to people, please feel free to talk about them below, and I will see you next time.